Hi friends, it is day 10 of the Every Bit Counts Challenge, and today we're back with another ferment. We are going to be making the easiest tomato sauce you will ever make. So we're participating in the Every Bit Counts Challenge, and if you've been joining us, you know all about that. If you haven't been joining us and this is your first video, the Every Bit Counts Challenge is where we take one thing every day in the month of August and preserve it. Three Rivers Homestead puts it on, and it's a fantastic encouragement for everybody to do just a little bit to stock your pantry up, and a little bit goes a long way when you stick to it for a whole month. Earlier in the spring, I took a fermenting class with Stacy from Doug and Stacy Off Grid, and this was one of the recipes she taught us in class, and it really is absolutely the easiest tomato sauce you will ever make, and it is really delicious. It's a ferment, so it's easy, and it's small batch. I'm just gonna make one little jar of it. It's great for when your garden is producing and you just are pulling out stuff every day. This is a fantastic, easy, quick recipe. Now I know we've talked about the benefits of ferments in our previous videos, but just to reiterate, when you eat fermented food, it's really super healthy for your gut microbiome. It boosts your immune system, it boosts your energy, and so it's really important and really incredibly healthy for us to get little tiny bits of ferments into our daily eating habits. This one is easy, and it's really great to sneak into the kids' food because they don't always recognize that it's a ferment. It doesn't taste like a pickle, or it doesn't taste like sauerkraut. It tastes like tomato sauce with a little bit of a zing. So for this recipe, we're going to have 2 pounds of tomatoes, 2 cloves of garlic, a little bit of basil, and 1 sweet pepper, but since my sweet peppers I just pulled out of the garden are pretty small, I'm gonna go ahead and do a few, and some all-natural salt. I use Redmond's real salt, but you can use any non-iodized salt. First, make sure your jar is clean and sterile. We talked about this before when we did the sauerkraut. It's okay in canning just to clean your jar and not necessarily boil or sterilize it, because when it goes through the canning process, it heats up enough to sterilize that jar. However, when you're making a ferment, you're not heating the jar. So you want to pre-sterilize this jar and everything that you're using, because you are not gonna be heating this. It's just gonna be sitting on your shelf. All right, so let's take our garlic. This is 2 cloves, and I already took the paper skin off of it, but I'm gonna crush it with a blade of my knife, just the flat blade, and then I'm gonna kind of chop it up. Lets it release some of the medicinal qualities, and put it in the bottom of that jar. Then I'm gonna take my basil leaves. These are fresh from my garden, but if you don't have any in your garden, you can just go ahead and use store-bought basil. That's completely okay. I will not tell on you. And then we're gonna chop up our peppers. Any sweet pepper will do. Or I mean, go for a hot pepper if you like a little zing. I'm gonna take these tomatoes and I'm going to quarter them and just stick them in the jar. I'm gonna do that until I have about 1 inch of headspace. Headspace is the space between the top of the jar and whatever you have in that jar. All right, that's just about 1 inch of headspace. Now on top of that, I'm gonna go ahead and put 4 teaspoons of salt. I'm gonna put a regular lid on this instead of one of the pickle pipes, because it's gonna be easier to shake this and make it work. And what you're gonna do, easy, is you're just gonna start shaking it. And you're gonna shake it until a juice forms. And this is all mixed together. All right, as you can see, that juice is forming and everything is mixed in there. This is the point we want to be at. So it just takes a couple minutes of shaking, and that really is all there is to it. At this point, we want to label it. Always label your ferments in your cans and date it. That way you know. Now, this is going to stay in a room temperature dark place for 3 or 4 days. And during that time, you want to go in every day and you want to shake it and you want to burp it. And all you do when you burp it is just open the lid, release the gas, and then close it back. Shake it a little bit more. At that point, after the 3 or 4 days, it's ready to eat. This is a super duper quick ferment. Now, if you'll remember, we talked in a previous video about how heating destroys some of those good beneficial enzymes. You can use it as a base in soup or something like that where you heat it, and that's fine. You will still get some of the medicinal qualities, but it really shines when you're going to use it cold or not terribly heated. So you don't want to just stick this in the microwave and go, or it defeats the purpose. So you can heat up some noodles and you can pour it room temperature over those warm noodles and it will warm up without killing those enzymes. You can put it over a salad, anything you use tomato sauce on. Go for it. This is one more delicious way to preserve your tomatoes, and I don't know about you, but one of the most daunting tasks of the year is when we make our huge batch of spaghetti sauce and we have all the tomatoes. It is a very time-consuming process. Worth it and delicious, but very time-consuming. This is so incredibly easy compared to that. And I know all of you that have done tomato sauce are shaking your head like, yes, where's this been all my life? So I'm so thankful to Stacy for showing us this. She's got a great fermenting recipe book that I will link down below that we got when we did her class. It was really fantastic and it's got so many good recipes in it. Give me some ideas down below. What are you going to do with your fermented tomato sauce? I can't wait to hear all about it. If you got some value out of this, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe and hit that notification bell to be notified when we post our daily updates on our Every Bit Counts challenge. Tomorrow, we'll see you back for day 11.